There is literally an infinite amount of money making opportunities, most of which that you don't even have to leave your own home. You don't have to do a network marketing company if you don't want to do a network marketing company. We live in 2023, there is literally something for everyone. So if you are feeling like you don't have the money that you desire, or maybe you desire more, there is plenty of money out there for you. The question is, do you desire it? And what's stopping you? Like, truly, at the end of the day, that is what it comes down to. Do you desire it? Which I know can sound odd, like, duh, I desire it. But if you don't currently have it and we're not currently working for it, we get to get real, raw, and honest with ourselves of well, do I? Some people are totally okay with going to their day job and collecting a paycheck and then going home and that's it, right? There is nothing wrong with that. They're okay with the amount of money that they're making. It's more than enough for the lifestyle that they desire, and they're good, right? And so they're living in alignment with their desires, right? Which is fantastic. So for everyone else that does not feel that way, but is not currently working towards what they desire, then we are out of alignment. And this is when it will start to feel, the energy gets funky. You feel like you're capable of so much, but yet you're not even close to on track of what you're capable of, right? You get anxious when you look at your bank account. You get anxious when you pay bills. You are just constantly stressed about money, right? Am I hitting any pain points for you? And I don't normally like to hit pain points, but I say all of this to step into pleasure of there is literally so many freaking ways to make money. So do you desire it? Okay. And what is stopping you? And more importantly, what is that number? Would you love an extra $500 a month? Would you love $1,000 extra a month, right? And then we want to get clear of okay, what are we actually going to do with that money, right? So what amount do we desire and why do we desire it? We can't just, in my opinion, it can't just be oh, well, it'd be nice to have an extra X amount of money. When we can start to already allocate where it's going to go and why do we desire it, it will actually help you attract it faster because it's with intention, right? So for example, if you have a family of 4 and you're constantly stressed about food, wouldn't it be nice to have a money making vehicle that would pay for your grocery bill every single month? Right? Or maybe for you, your mortgage overwhelms you and you never want to worry about, being homeless, right? So whatever your mortgage is, maybe a little bit extra, wouldn't it be nice to have a money making vehicle that would help cover your mortgage? Doesn't that feel so badass? Or maybe for you, you have plenty of money, but you desire to have fun, right? Maybe right now the money that you're bringing in is paying the bills, right? Between you and your significant other, we're paying the bills. We have a little bit extra, but you want to go have fuck you money. You want to go have fun, right? You want to take your kids to Disney and not even have to worry about dropping thousands of dollars, right? That is still very specific, right? So we've got to sit with this for a second. And before I get too far in, I do get to get our podcast sponsor a shout out, which is just so perfect for this podcast episode. So Megan Anderson, she is a dear friend. She's in our inner circle. She has a travel agent business called Never Look Back Vacation. So before I get too far into the episode, I get very passionate very quickly. I just want to read her quick blurb and then I'll get back into the show. So she has a little blurb. Are you desiring to take an adult-only only trip or have some family fun. If you're looking to book a trip or get a quote, Megan is your go-to gal to book any type of trip. Cruise, Disney, house for a family trip, international, domestic, universal. You want to go somewhere, Megan can help. Let your magical adventure commence, which I love. So I have her link. Make sure that you're following her on social media. She helped us literally book our whole Inner Circle Disney extravaganza and was so resourceful and so helpful. And the beautiful part about a travel agent is like they can get you better deals. They have tons of knowledge, so you know like you're getting something quality, and equally like they don't cost anything. It's like a free service, right? It's so cool. So let's talk about this. Okay, there's so many freaking ways to make money. Okay, so we already talked about, do you desire more? I'm going to say if you're watching or listening to this episode, you probably desire more. So what amount of money do we desire and why? Like, what is that next level for you? Okay, I'm sure we want to like bring in millions and millions eventually, right? But like, what is that next level? And when you can attach it to something in your life, it has so much more deeper emotion. So I gave the grocery example. I gave the mortgage example. You can think of something else. The travel, right? Like the experiences for your family. I just remember years ago when my business was like teeny tiny, still powerful, but teeny tiny. We were going on our our baby moon for my first child. And my side hustle at the time literally helped pay for the beach house. And that felt so freaking good. Like, I remember laying so pregnant in that pool, because we had like a pool at our own house in Hilton Head Island. But I remember laying in that pool just feeling so accomplished. And like, what's so interesting is like, I felt like I already made it. Like, and my business was so teeny tiny, like bringing in like a few thousand. And I don't mean that in a light way, but like, you know, when you start getting like bigger and bigger and bigger, it's like, oh wow, like I thought I was like crushing it, which I was, right? Like every new level, it's like, holy shit, like I did it, right? And to me, when you come from nonprofit, you don't go into nonprofit work to get rich, right? So like bringing in like a few thousand every month in my own business, like on the side, felt like the biggest victory, right? And I really didn't have any expenses in my side hustle, so it just kept accumulating, right? So like I could pull out thousands of dollars and it not even be a stress. So it was truly like this ATM. I call that my mama ATM. And so we were able to like take the money out, right? Do an owner's draw is what they like typically call that. And, you know, pay for the balance of the beach house, which was, I think, like a couple $1,000s, and it not even be a thing. Like it wasn't even a stress, right? So like, I want to light a fire under your ass, because we need to know what's stopping you, because you could literally Instacart, like work Instacart. You could Uber Eats. You could do Uber. You could literally become a virtual assistant. You could literally learn a new skill and start monetizing that. You could become a DJ. You could become like, there are so many freaking ways to make money, even if you don't have any startup money. So like, can we please stop the bullshit? Like, if you eventually want to get to something, like open up your own restaurant someday, and you're like, well, I can't do that right now because I don't have enough money, we can totally start on like ground zero, right? And there's just literally so many ways. Here's the cool part though. What do you desire and why? Because the money-making vehicle that you pick, we want to make sure that we can get there fast, right? Like, you can get to a destination walking, running, riding a bike, right? Taking a train, flying there, driving there. And so when you go to different destinations, depending on how far it is, you decide like, okay, does it make more sense to walk? Does it make more sense to drive? Does it make more sense to fly? And you weigh all of your options. So that's really what I want you to do for your money-making vehicle, aka your ATM, okay? to get the money that you desire. And when we can just call it as it is, of like, what is freaking stopping you? Like, and we can't just say it's time. Okay. That, like, we're never going to have the time that we desire, right? If you could pull one of the commitments off of your calendar, like a year ago, I was working with a client. Like, this is what I do. Like, if you don't know what I do, this is what I do. I help you look for money making opportunities, and then I help you actually like make them come to life, right? Because we don't like just click our heels and it happens, right? So I help you identify what they are and make sure that they are connected to your personal goals, and then therefore like hold you accountable and make it happen. Okay. Depending on how we work together. But I was working with a client a year ago, and she was in so many nonprofit charities, and she was like, this is just like, I'm exhausted. I was like, how much time would you get back? Because I had her do a time audit. How much time would you get back if you were like not involved in these charities, right? Like, yes, it's amazing to give back and be on boards and like go to events, but like it wasn't in alignment with where she was at in her goals, right? And she was like, oh my gosh, I would get back like 10 hours a week. And I'm like, 10 hours a week? We can build a side hustle in 10 hours a week, right? Like, there's just so much we can do. So our time is going somewhere. Our time will always go somewhere, right? So we can't just say like, what's stopping me is time. That's just too vague, right? What is on your calendar that's actually stopping you? And therefore, like, there's always a why under the why under the why. So it may not necessarily be time. It may be fear of judgment, right? Like, we keep delaying our big goals, right? Especially financially, because there's some sort of judgment. Like, maybe you didn't come from money, and so you are afraid your whole family is going to judge you and think that you're greedy and all you care about is money, right? Like, and I know that can sound so crazy, but like, these feelings are real. They are valid. And the more that we can dig into them and like identify what they are for you, then you actually won't be stopping and starting, right? You'll just literally be like this stream of like flowing water where you're just like, okay, I'm going to get there eventually. Like, because there's something motivating to our brain when we like, even if we're not at our goal yet, there's something so satisfying about like, we're on our way there and we can feel the progress, right? We want to feel the progress. So I want you to like really acknowledge like, okay, like, am I at a stall? Like, am I stalling, right? Am I stopped? Why am I stalling? Why am I stopping? Like, what is it? And when you can just truly like look yourself in the mirror and be super brutally, not even brutally, because that sounds bad, but like just wholeheartedly honest with yourself of like, yeah, I'm afraid of judgment. Like, there, I said it there, right? Like, and just call it out. Because when we actually like, it's kind of like the monster in the closet. Like, Kevin Hart has a really good book. I think it's called Monsters. I've listened to it, but I forget the exact name of it. But he talks about this in his book of like, when you can't see the monster, it feels really scary. Like, as a kid, right? Like, when you were afraid of the dark, when you couldn't like see in the closet or underneath the bed, it felt so big and scary, right? And so when we can just like call out our limiting beliefs and like, it's no big deal. Like, okay, I've got a fear of judgment, right? Like, or I've got a fear of failure, or I've got a fear of like fill in the blank, right? Imposter syndrome, or whatever it may be. We all have our challenges because we are all human, right? But I want you to really remind yourself of like, okay, I deserve this. Like, I am worthy of this. I am capable of this. And like, start to feel what it feels like to have the thing. So like, if it for you was like going to Disney with your kids and not having to like put Disney on a credit card, or maybe for you it's like going into the grocery store every month with cash, right? Like, how would that feel? Like, I want you to feel what it feels like. And even if we do something small to get connected with it, it can be very, very powerful. So like, maybe for you, if it's cash going into the grocery store, maybe we walk into the grocery store with cash to buy like, you know, a drink and a candy bar. I know that can sound so crazy, but you start to feel what it feels like, right? And then the next time we go in with maybe $50, then the next time we go in with $100, and before you know it, you're going into the grocery store with like a wad of $100 bills, feeling like an absolute boss, right? Buying all of your groceries for your family, and you didn't have to stress about it. That's what your ATM can do for you, right? No one can walk up to the ATM but you, okay? When we can start to take full responsibility of like, okay, this is my ATM and this is what I want to get out of it, right? You just become so unstoppable. We've got to get crystal clear on what's that next level of money that you desire in your ATM, why, and then what actual like vehicle, okay, is going to be the best that aligns with that, and it's going to get you there the fastest, right? Like, so for example, if like you wanted to take your kids to Disney, let's just say that could be like $5,000 to $10,000. Very easily, if you've been to Disney, you know it can happen, right? So if we were selling a product and we like gained $1 per product we sold, that's going to take a lot of time, right? Versus $1,000 product or even a $500 product, right, that you're selling, creating and selling perhaps, we can get there really fucking fast. Like, you could get there within like months, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is what I do with people, is like really identifying this, and then again, like holding you accountable. Like, okay, we've got the vehicle. Is the vehicle brand new, right? Because that means there's a whole lot of steps that we need to do. If the vehicle is not brand new, maybe we just need to like remodel the vehicle, right? Maybe a detail inside, like get it all cleaned up, right? And then get back on the road and like, let's go. Like, it's time, let's go. And then like working towards the destination and having me as your passenger of like, okay, what's going on? Like, how are you doing? Do we need a detour? Do we need to take, a potty break? Like, how are you feeling, right? A road trip alone is like typically not that fun, right? Like, yes, you could entertain yourself, but like, it's so much more fun to have a passenger with you. And like, that's truly what I do. That's what I create, is like being that partner with you in the vehicle, making sure we can get to our destination, and like then going to the actual destination is just so much more enjoyable. Okay. So we only have so many hours in the day. This is why I say pick a vehicle that we can get there the fastest. So once we get to the first destination, we're out, we're celebrating, we're enjoying. You may stay there for a long time. You may stay there for a little bit of time, but then we rinse and repeat the same thing again, right? So maybe your money ATM took you to Florida, right? Like, I hope you can like keep with me on this analogy, but maybe it took you to Florida and you're like, I like Florida. Let's go to Disney. Let's hang out by the, by the pool. Let's enjoy ourselves. And then you're like, you know what? I really want to go to California now, right? Which is your next money-making opportunity, right? So we can still keep the current money-making opportunity if it makes sense. We've already like mastered it. Now we add in the next one. We're heading to California. So it's a little bit of a longer distance, but maybe it's a higher reward, right? Like, so maybe for you, you brought in $10,000 and you're like, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would ever be able to do that, right? So since California is a longer distance, maybe that's $100,000. And you're like, holy shitballs. If I could actually bring in $100,000, like, I would feel like I'm the richest person in the world, right? I felt like this at one point. So like, it's fun, like coming back and reminiscing, right? And it's so true, right? Like, every level that you've never been at feels so exciting. This is why I like live vicariously through my clients, because they're just like, I did it. And I'm like celebrating with them so genuinely, because I know what that feels like, and it feels so good no matter what it is. If you've never been to that level before, it feels so good. So let's say we're heading to California. It's a little bit of a longer distance, but a higher reward, right? We're going to have to probably stop a few times, get a hotel, rest, get back on the road. But you know you're going to get there, right? Like, you keep seeing your GPS and you're following your GPS, even if we're taking breaks, right? So this is the power of staying the course, right? And deciding like how many road trips, if you will, you want to take to make more money, right? Get to the next destination, the next destination. But like typically most road trips are fairly enjoyable, right? Like, unless you've got like screaming kids in the back, right? I've been there, done that. But most road trips are so fun, right? Like, so you're enjoying yourself along the way, right? It's not like, oh, I won't enjoy myself until I get to the destination. I want you to enjoy the journey and the destination, and then decide, do I go on again, right? Or do I stay here, right? Like, maybe you fall in love with California and you end up moving there, and then you just stay there forever. And then that money-making opportunity, we just keep rinsing and repeating over and over and over again. That's totally fine. Totally more than fine, right? So I just like want to get your wheels turning, get you super motivated of like, you can do this if you say so, okay? I am not going anywhere. I'm going to stay on this journey, right? You're going to keep seeing me show up, right? I am in the game. Are you in the game, right? Are you continuing to let your limiting beliefs stop you? There is so much that you can learn online, a lot of it for free. You can go on Google, you can go on YouTube. There's so many podcasts. There's books that are very inexpensive. There's courses that are very inexpensive. So whether it's time excuses or money excuses, like, they're all valid. They're all real. We all have them. You just get to decide, are they strong enough to stop you? Or are you going to start taking your power back and be like, okay, I'm ready to start making some money. I'm ready to start making some big moves to build my wealthy life, because your wealthy life is built in the day-to-day decisions that you're making or not making, right? So I just want this to be like a wake-up call for you of like, you can do this. There are so many money-making opportunities, which I know can be overwhelming, but when we can align it with the amount of money that you want to make and why you want to make it, when we can align it with that, it starts to weed out all the others, right? And so I really want you to decide what that is. Feel free to DM me. Happy to support you any way that I can. I'm cheering for you. I know that you can do this. Take this as the most juicy, delicious wake-up call of like, okay, I can do this. I will do this. I can do this. I will do this. I can do this. I will do this, right? I want you to feel the progress every single day. So doing one small thing a day may not feel like a lot, whether it's reaching out to a lead or sending an email to your list or doing a live video, anything to move your vision forward. Just doing one thing a day is one of the best things that you can do, and consistently. Consistency doesn't mean perfection, but we're doing it more than we're not doing it. So if you keep saying that you're broke and you're not doing anything about it, you're going to stay broke, right? If you are stressed about money, but we're not doing anything about it, then you're going to continue to stay stressed about money. If you desire more, but yet we're not doing anything to work towards more, then you're going to continue to feel like I'm out of alignment, right? I'm not at my fullest potential. I'm not creating that growth, right? So we just want to like do a check-in and see how we can really get on this journey for you. And I would just love to be your passenger. So DM me. I can't wait to hear from you. I love you. You're amazing. You can do this. You will do this. You can do this. You will do this. You can do this. You will do this. All right. I love you.